Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another short episode. This is more of a reaction opinion video, and I wanted to talk to you about a very interesting subject. There was a drag queen that attended school last year in June, part of the Waterloo District School Board. This drag queen was a math teacher and has been recently on the news talking about the teacher with the prosthetic breast that was in the Halton region. I wanted to share with you a quick clip over here, and then we can talk about what is happening.
These moments that become a focus of media attention. I'm thinking of the trans teacher in Ontario. She wore a breastplate to school with very large prosthetic breasts, and this sort of became this defining moment. You're teaching math to kids online. What message do you want to send to parents?
So if you recall that teacher that wore the large prosthetic breasts, students were very uncomfortable, and parents and students went out to protest the school. So the message that the school was sending was that it's totally acceptable for a man to wear whatever he wants and expose himself to children in inappropriate ways. This was pretty absurd. But let's see what this drag queen who did attend Waterloo District School Board, like I said, she's a math teacher, let's see what message she wants to send.
My message to parents is that school is a place that prepares you for adulthood. And in adulthood, you are going to come across trans people, you're going to come across gay people, you're going to come across people of all kinds of walks of life. And I think school should prepare students for that.
So that's fine. It's okay that students are going to come across all sorts of different people. And that's not a problem, because at the end of the day, you want to know about everybody, right? The problem with this kind of stuff is that you're also going to run across men who like exposing themselves to kids and who are sexualized men who probably get a kick out of being around children and even making them uncomfortable. So let's see.
What I find, so ironic is that lots of parents, they don't want their kids to turn out gay or trans or queer, partially because there's a stereotype associated that queer people can end up homeless, can turn to drugs. But what do? They will kick the queer children out of their homes. They'll try to get queer people fired from jobs. So it is a feedback loop that just makes more queer people turn to homelessness and be shunned away from their families.
So I think the actual stereotype is not that they're going to be homeless. I think the stereotype is more along the lines of predatory behavior. And it's very ironic that she's talking about this. It's literally a man dressed up as a woman, very sexualized, like drag queens have always been associated with sexual behaviors. And this person loves to be around kids. Now, I'm not saying that they're a pedophile or anything, but what I am saying, these are red flags that you should not bring your kids around. Now, there was an event at school, like I said, and I'm going to show you this. Kanye uses math to bring students together for Pride Month. Even a heavy downpour couldn't dampen the spirits of students from across the Waterloo Region District School Board as they ran into Waterloo Collegiate Institute to hear from Kanye Santos earlier this month, welcomed by a big sign reading, "Love wins" on the lawn. Students mingled with one another while taking part in a free Pride-themed temporary tattoo and gift bags. Kanye's arrival interrupted the murmur, eliciting cheers and calls for selfies as she made her way to the auditorium. "I really didn't fit in with the boys, and I wasn't one of the girls exactly either. But I was a big teacher's pet," said Kanye. "My best subject in school was always math, and I loved making people laugh." So if we go down, look at this. Being a queer Filipino drag queen in mathematics and doing so well Connie shows how everyone can break many boundaries that are in STEM and other fields of study, shared another student. So you can read this entire article to yourself. And by the way, the Waterloo District School Board also closed the comments. People couldn't comment on these. I'm not really sure what sexuality has to do with math, and I'm not really sure what stereotypes they are breaking. As a matter of fact, I find that the drag queen is probably playing right into the stereotypes of invading children's spaces, right? And using math, for example. Like, having a sexuality has nothing to do with your abilities and something else. Like, just because you're queer doesn't make you better or worse in math, right? But I do find it very ironic that, in fact, Connie shows how anyone can break the many boundaries, right? Like they say, like she's obviously breaking boundaries and invading spaces of children. And this should be a concern to parents, because the parents, I don't think they were notified that this event is taking place. So I'm really wondering what is happening behind the school walls that parents are not aware of. This is why I started this YouTube channel, because I go through the policies and I go through the events so I can make parents aware of what the school board is doing. If you question the school board, they're going to call you all sorts of phobias and that you're not being accommodating. But this kind of behavior is only tolerated one way, right? Like the parents and the students, they all have to go above and beyond and cheer on this behavior. And if you don't do that, then you're not really tolerated. Like, yeah, maybe we should pull back a little bit, right? It's straight to the name calling and saying that you're hateful and whatever. So it's very interesting. And also with the teachers with the large prosthetic breasts, the students, I believe, were told that if they take pictures of the teacher, they would be subject to suspension. And from what I hear, the teacher was walking around with security guards, right, to get protected. Like, we are really talking that the tables have flipped, and now the people that had red flags are the very people being protected, right, from normal people. If you're a normal person, what is wrong with you? Get on board with this and be okay with talking about sexuality with children, right? And the school is always doing these sorts of things, right? And they're saying, well, we're trying to get the students ready for real life. But the students, they don't have any sexual experiences because, of course, they're minors. So the school take it upon themselves to indoctrinate kids from an early age to be accepting. And I think really the accepting behavior over here that I don't think should be tolerated is what I deem child abuse, because you are exposing children to material, sexual behavior, sexual discussions, asking children, having conversations, well, what is your sexual preference? I don't know. Maybe they don't know because they're just minors, right? So I'm not really sure how a minor is supposed to reveal this information. But if I did hear a minor say, hey, listen, I prefer this stuff or whatever, I would say, what happened to this kid? This kid is being sexually abused because this is not normal. So the school is pressing forward with this. They have policies in place, as I've mentioned. Check out episode 1. You will see all the things that the school is doing, and I walk through the policies and procedures that they have in place. And I encourage you to comment, do you think this kind of behavior is acceptable? What do you think about the drag teachers being in the school? Is the school board wrong in this? Should they be promoting this kind of behavior, and what kind of message does this send? Looking forward to hearing from you, and until next time, take care.